An important warning now about the dangers of counterfeit drugs. Criminals are looking to cash in on some of the most popular drugs on the market, and it appears that they're putting lives at risk in the process.
With this historic executive order I will sign today, we're formally classifying fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction.
They say the most dangerous weapon isn't a gun, it's a stethoscope, because guns kill you fast. But doctors can profit from keeping you alive just long enough or ending it on their terms. Dr. Hassan Abdi, 58, director of Mercy General Hospital in Miami. Over 18 months, 47 unexplained deaths, $34.2 million in phantom drug orders, 89 patients admitted, 67 never woke up, 43 didn't need to. The money? It vanished across the Pacific to Shanghai, Hong Kong, Singapore, feeding transplant tourism empires worth $800 million a year. This wasn't some cartel lab or back alley deal. This was a hospital. White coats, diplomas on walls, trust. Hospital hallways, empty beds, sterile lights, a heartbeat slowing, stopping, and somewhere, a spreadsheet pings. Patient 47, sale confirmed. $340,000. The real question isn't how one doctor did this. It's how many looked away. How many forged signatures? How many pharmacists stayed quiet? How many nurses saw the pattern and said nothing? This isn't just one killer in scrubs. This is a system that shields predators. A system that puts profit over patients, where silence is the unspoken rule, until one woman refused to stay quiet. March 2024. Maria Chen, pharmacy director, 47 years old, 19 years at Mercy General Hospital in Miami. She notices something that keeps her awake for 3 straight nights. The math simply doesn't work. March 15. Chen sends an internal memo flagging a discrepancy in pharmaceutical inventory. March 18. She's called into Dr. Hassan Abdi's office. His offer is direct, $85,000 to retire early and sign a confidentiality agreement. She refuses. April 2. Maria Chen walks into the FBI field office in Tampa. Agents begin digging. What they find first are 8 pharmaceutical orders, each with forged documentation, routed to shell companies registered in Guangzhou, China. By mid-April, the number climbs to 19 shell companies. All inactive on paper, all receiving millions in hospital funds. Late April. Evelyn Ortiz, the hospital's procurement director, comes forward. She's terrified, but she brings records showing something impossible. The national average for organ donations at a hospital this size is 8 to 12 per year. Mercy General reported 48 in 2023 alone. The vials arriving from overseas were cold, suspiciously cold, too cold for authentic drugs stored at proper temperatures. Laboratory tests confirm the worst. Labels read Johnson & Johnson. Labels read Pfizer. But inside, the propofol is only 30% pure. The fentanyl is cut with industrial compounds that burn tissue on contact. 22 patients died within 72 hours of receiving those drugs. Their death certificates list complications, sepsis, cardiac events. Clean, ordinary words. They lied. The escalation doesn't stop at 47 deaths. Investigators trace 89 high-risk cases deliberately routed to Abdi's unit. But then they found something darker. This wasn't just one doctor stealing drugs for profit. This was an entire network harvesting America. Wire transfers totaling $8.7 million to accounts in Hong Kong. The money smelled like desperation, like cold calculations. Payments made to a surgeon named Li Chen, who operates a transplant tourism operation for wealthy clients flying in from mainland China. Each liver, each kidney, sold for $150,000 to $400,000. Not with just one pharmaceutical order. Not with just one shell company. Not with just one victim's family signing organ donation papers under duress. Marcus Washington, 31 years old, construction worker, father of 2, the 12th of July 2023. He checks into Mercy General for routine hernia surgery. He receives a preoperative sedative from lot number 2847. His arm feels ice cold as the needle slides in. That burning chill spreads fast. That wasn't normal anesthesia. His body rejects the poison instantly. Organ failure follows within hours. The screams echo down the corridor before monitors flatline. He never woke up. His organs were harvested that night, listed as voluntary donation, shipped overseas within 12 hours. But the investigation wasn't over. It was just beginning. Because one doctor doesn't build an empire like this alone. April 22, 2024. FBI Cybercrimes Unit, Quantico, Virginia. Agent Derek Huang digs into Mercy General's server logs. Keys clatter fast under his fingers. He freezes the screen. Multiple administrative logins originating from IP addresses in Shanghai, all between 2 and 4 a.m. Eastern. That's prime business hours over there. Someone in China was inside our patient database, live, pulling records in real time. The access logs tell a chilling story. 2,847 patient files opened from January 2023 through March 2024. Search parameters were brutally specific. Blood type compatibility, healthy organs, ages 25 to 45, minimal or zero family contacts listed. 89 patients ultimately flagged as high-value candidates. Cold blue glow from the monitor lit up each ID like a death warrant. April 29th. DEA Forensic Lab in Miami. Dr. Patricia Reeves runs seized vials through the mass spectrometer. The machine hums and beeps. She holds one up. Label reads, Propofol 1%, Fresenius Kabi, Lot 2847. The readout finishes. Active ingredient purity, 34%. Cut with industrial propylene glycol, trace fentanyl, and acetone. She tests a supposed Pfizer fentanyl vial next. After a long pause. Mostly baking soda and solvent. Actual fentanyl under 8%. She doesn't need to say what that would do inside a human vein. May 3rd. 6:30 a.m. FBI and DEA breach MedSupply Logistics warehouse in Fort Lauderdale. Steel door gives way under the ram. Inside the refrigerated darkness, 14,000 counterfeit propofol vials, 9,200 fake fentanyl, 3,800 bogus morphine. Perfect labels from Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, Fresenius Kabi, all printed on stock from unregulated plants in Guangzhou. Street value, if passed off as real, $38.4 million. Production cost, $640,000. Profit margin, 5,900%. The humming coolers sounded like a morgue preparing for war. Now meet one of the 47. Marcus Washington, 31. Construction worker, father, husband. July 12, 2023. He checks into Mercy General for a routine appendectomy, 98.7% success rate. In pre-op, he kisses his wife Tanya. See you in an hour, baby. She smiles through nerves. I'll be right here. 4:15 p.m. Surgery starts. 4:18. Sedative from Lot 2847 pushed into his IV. The cold burn spreads fast, too fast. 4:23. Cardiac arrest. 4:31. Resuscitation fails. 4:52. Pronounced dead. 5:14. Dr. Hassan Abdi enters the waiting room, face practiced in sorrow. Mrs. Washington, I'm so sorry. Severe allergic reaction to anesthesia. We did everything possible. Tanya collapses, screaming. He was healthy. 31. How? Abdi touches her shoulder gently. Sometimes these tragedies happen. Would you consider donating his organs? He could save lives. Grief-blinded, Tanya signs at 5:47. By 6:22, Marcus's liver, kidneys, and heart are removed. 11:35 p.m. Organs loaded onto a private jet at Opalaka Airfield. July 13th, 9:15 a.m. Arrival in Shanghai. 2 p.m. Local time. Marcus Washington's liver is sewn into Zhang Wei, 64-year-old Vice Minister of Health for Shanghai Province. Price paid, $320,000. Marcus was poisoned by counterfeit drugs. His organs were stolen under forged consent. His widow was manipulated in her darkest moment. And today, a Chinese official lives with an American construction worker's heart beating in his chest. May 8th. FBI uncovers the money trail. Millions flowing from Mercy General accounts into Golden Harvest Medical Holdings, Hong Kong. CEO Dr. Li Chen, 59, former surgeon turned transplant broker. Annual revenue, $127 million. Clientele, Chinese tycoons, Middle Eastern royalty, Russian oligarchs. Published price list: liver, $280,000 to $400,000. Kidney, $150,000 to $220,000. Heart, $950,000 to $1.2 million. Pair of lungs, $580,000 to $720,000. Human beings reduced to line items on a menu. May 15th. Agents identify the American middleman. Thomas Kessler, 55, pharmaceutical broker out of Chicago. Recovered emails lay it bare. March 14, 2023. Kessler to his Guangzhou contact. Batch 3314 came in. Discolored. Propofol looks yellow. Should we warn Miami? Reply, hours later. No warning. They never test. Packaging fools them every time. Ship it. If patients react, blame hospital storage error. May 16th. Kessler arrested. 47 counts pharmaceutical fraud. Conspiracy to distribute counterfeit drugs. Wire fraud. Money laundering. Personal profit over 4 years. $3.2 million. Lives taken. 47. Remorse in interrogation. None. The warehouse coolers still hum in the agent's memories. The server logs still glow blue. And somewhere in Shanghai, a man who helped design China's health policy draws breath with a dead American's liver. May 19, 2024. 11:47 p.m. FBI Miami Field Office. Operation White Coat Briefing Room. 134 personnel across 5 agencies, 47 FBI agents, 23 DEA, 18 Homeland Security investigations, 34 Miami-Dade officers, 12 U.S. Marshals. The air is thick with black coffee and tension. Agent Rebecca Foster stands at the front. This is the biggest medical fraud takedown in American history. 14 targets across South Florida. All raids hit simultaneously at 5:17 a.m. sharp. We chose 5:17 because Dr. Hassan Abdi jogs every Sunday at 5:20. Same oceanfront route. We've clocked him 47 times in 6 weeks. Tomorrow, he doesn't make it to the sidewalk. May 20th, 5:17 a.m., Miami Beach. Agents pour from unmarked vans toward Abdi's $4.2 million waterfront mansion. Boots pound pavement in perfect rhythm. 32 seconds later, the battering ram splinters the front door. FBI, search warrant, hands up. Abdi stands frozen in his designer kitchen, coffee mug halfway to his lips. No flight. No fight. Just calm surrender. His first words, "Where is my lawyer?" Not innocence. Not outrage. Just process. The kitchen smells of fresh espresso from a $12,000 machine. Marble counters gleam under recessed lights. A man who ended 67 lives starts his Sunday like any other. 1 minute later, Coral Springs. Ice storms Med Supply Logistics warehouse. Steel door caves inward. 14,000 counterfeit vials wait in perfect rows under refrigeration. 2 minutes in, Fort Lauderdale. DEA seals off Sunshine Procurement Services, a private, unlicensed surgical suite disguised as a clinic. Inside, surgical tools still sterile, organ transport coolers, patient files listing all 89 names, handwritten ledgers showing $24.3 million in revenue. 3 minutes in, Tampa. Cyber unit remotely freezes 17 offshore accounts linked to Golden Harvest Medical Holdings. $11.8 million locked in an instant. 14 targets. 14 minutes. 1 empire in freefall. 5:34 a. Mercy General Hospital Administrative Wing. Federal agents stride through empty hallways. Badges swinging. They enter Abdi's corner office. Mahogany desk. Leather chairs. Wall of framed credentials. Agent Foster lifts each diploma. Cairo Medical University, 1,992 authentic. The rest, Harvard 2015, bought online for $8,900. Yale Fellowship, $6,200. Board certification serial number doesn't exist. He built his legend on paper lies long before he built it on bodies. Foster powers on his desktop a folder labeled Procurement Log. Q1 2023 sits unhidden. She opens the spreadsheet. Columns march across the screen. Patient name, drug lot number, minutes to death, organ grade, sale price, net profit. Marcus Washington lot 2847, 37 minutes, A+. Sale 340,000, net 279,500. David Reynolds 41 minutes, B+. Net 200, 38,900. 47 rows, 47 lives, reduced to line items. 602A. Agents swing aside. A framed diploma. Wall safe clicks open. Inside, Polaroids of Abdi grinning beside open surgical fields. Harvested organs glistening under lights. Peace signs flashed for the camera. Notes scrawled on the back. Payments received. Profit margins holding. A leather-bound ledger lists every transaction: livers to Shanghai, kidneys to Hong Kong, one heart to Dubai for $1.1 million. A single USB drive holds patient selection criteria, Organ quality scores, wire confirmations, encrypted chats with Dr. Li Chen and Zhang Fei. This wasn't medicine. This was slaughter, with quarterly projections. 7:47 a.m. FBI Miami interrogation room. Cold metal table, gray walls. Dr. Hassan Abdi sits cuffed, tailored joggers and running shoes still on. Agent Foster enters, drops the folder. Opens to Marcus Washington's row. A+. $279,500 profit. She slides it across. Abdi's face drains of color. Not shame, calculation. Hands tremble. Not remorse, exposure. Foster leans in. You murdered 67 people. Silence. You stole their organs without consent. Silence. You sold their bodies to the highest bidder. Silence. Finally he speaks, voice flat. Who talked? Not, what have I done? Not, my family. Not a single note of regret. Just, who talked? In that moment, the mask is gone. No healer, no respected director. Just a businessman staring at collapsing margins, wondering which employee broke the code of silence. Maria Chen's name burns behind his eyes. And the empire he built on trust, white coats, and forged consent forms ends in a gray room that smells of stale coffee and irreversible truth. May 20th, 2024. The raids are over, but the net keeps widening. Because one doctor doesn't build an organ harvesting empire alone. A system does. 8:15 a.m. Robert Sullivan, 63, Chief Hospital Administrator at Mercy General, 32 years in healthcare management, is arrested in his 14th floor corner suite. Agents seize every pharmaceutical order bearing his signature 47 counterfeit shipments, flagged by automated software, all manually overridden by him. Recovered emails show him instructing Abdi, change the documentation. Chen won't look twice. Security footage from March 18th captures Sullivan telling Abdi, she's asking too many questions. Offer retirement. If she refuses, we'll handle it differently. He didn't just look away. He designed the blind spots. Charges: conspiracy to commit murder, RICO racketeering, healthcare fraud, 67 counts involuntary manslaughter. 9:40 a.m. Thomas Kessler, 55, pharmaceutical broker in Chicago, owner of MedBridge Supply, is taken into custody. His pipeline: counterfeit drugs manufactured in China for $640,000. Repackaged with forged American labels. Sold to hospitals for $38.4 million. Personal profit over 4 years, $3.2 million. That March 2023 email chain surfaces again. Kessler warning about discolored propofol, told to ship anyway because they won't test. May 21st, 11 p.m., Hong Kong time, Interpol arrests Dr. Li Chen, 59, CEO of Golden Harvest Medical Holdings, net worth $340 million. Empire: 14 private hospitals across Asia. Transplant tourism network pulling in $127 million annually, serving over 2,300 elite clients, Chinese officials, Russian oligarchs, Middle Eastern royalty. Seized servers reveal the price list. Livers 280 to 400,000, kidneys 150 to 220, hearts 950 to 1.2 million, lungs 580 to 720. One patient file stands out: recipient Zhang Wei, 64, Vice Minister of Health, Shanghai Province. Organ: liver, transplant. July 13th, 2023. Cost: $320,000. Donor origin listed as deceased North American male, age 31. Marcus Washington's liver, harvested while his body was still warm, flown 8,000 miles. Installed in a Chinese government official who still walks free today, breathing with stolen American lungs. May 22nd. FBI Director announces Operation White Coat results. 47 arrests across 7 states, 23 in Florida, 8 Illinois, 6 California, 4 New York, 3 Texas, 2 Georgia, 1 Nevada. 89 confirmed deaths from counterfeit drugs. 89 organs harvested and sold abroad. 34 recipients traced. 21 in China, 6 Hong Kong, 4 Dubai, 2 Russia, 1 Singapore. 24.3 million in financial crimes. 12.8 million in assets seized. 14,000 counterfeit vials confiscated. But the question lingers: how many more? Death certificates are under review. Bodies are being exhumed. In Miami-Dade County alone, 67 certificates from Mercy General Surgeries between 2021 and 2024 labeled complications. Sepsis, cardiac events are now federal evidence. The true toll could climb much higher. This happened not because the system failed, but because it was built to reward silence. Pharmacy staff flagged discrepancies and were ignored. Maria Chen asked questions and was offered $85,000 to vanish. Evelyn Ortiz reported irregularities and faced threats. Nobody wanted to believe a hospital in America could become a slaughterhouse wearing white coats. May 25th. Tanya Washington, 33, testifies before the Senate Committee on Health. Voice breaking. My husband was 31. Routine surgery. They said allergic reaction. I believed them. I signed donation papers thinking I was saving lives. Now I know he was murdered, his organs stolen. Somewhere in China, a government official lives because Marcus is dead. She holds up his photo. This was my husband, not patient 47, not $279,500 profit. He was mine. The chamber falls silent for 15 long seconds. May 30th. Congress introduces the Marcus Washington Medical Accountability Act, mandatory supply chain verification, random independent drug testing, 72-hour waiting periods for non-emergency organ harvesting, required independent witnesses for consent, strengthened whistleblower protections, anonymous hotlines, and new penalties for Americans receiving illegal organs abroad. The bill passes Senate 94-6, House 412-18. Signed into law June 15th, August 12th, Southern District of Florida. Dr. Hassan Abdi, life without parole, plus 890 years. Robert Sullivan, 45 years. Thomas Kessler, 32 years. Dr. Li Chen, awaiting extradition, facing life. Zhang Wei, protected by diplomatic immunity. He remains vice minister, living with Marcus Washington's liver. This story isn't finished. Somewhere right now, another administrator is approving a questionable order. Another broker is shipping discolored vials. Another doctor is calculating profit over pulse. Maria Chen made one phone call and stopped the next 67 murders. She was one person against a machine that had already claimed dozens. She won because she refused silence. If you're still listening, don't look away. Share this. Ask your hospital hard questions. Demand enforcement of the new law. Remember the names. Marcus Washington, David Reynolds, Sophia Martinez. 67 souls turned into line items. Silence. Let this happen. Your voice can make sure it never happens again. In memory of the 67,